Let's go ahead and call F&A committee meeting to order. If city clerk will note attendance, we'll move on with the approval of the agenda. Are there any objections or revisions to the agenda as presented?
Nope.
Nope. All right, we'll consider the agenda approved and move on to public comment. And I see a sea of empty chairs. Unless Jimmy wants to make public comment, we'll move on. All right. Let's go on with approval of the minutes dated July. All right, you're gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. Approval of the minutes dated July 8th, 2025. Chair had no questions or revisions. Any of the committee members? Any objection to approval of the minutes as presented? All right, we will take the minutes as presented as approved and move forward on with that. Let's move on to approval of warrants and claims. Consideration claims report dated July 28th, 2025. I've reviewed my email. I've got no other questions from other council members or anybody in regards to that, and chair has no questions or clarifications. Are there any questions or clarifications from the committee?
No.
Any objections to accepting the claims report as written?
No.
All right, we'll take the claims report as written, as approved, and move that on to council. With that, we'll move on to Agenda Bill 25071, flag policy. I guess only one comment. In the policy section B, well, right up front, can we put the US flag?
So
I could squeeze it in on one of the other ones if I really look right, but I think we ought to call out the US flags.
so under section A, it talks about the US flag, but we can also, and then section B says in addition to the flags mentioned above.
Okay. All right, now I understand. All right, thank you. Any other questions or? Only other question I have is, can we put this on consent?
I'd be agreeable to that if anyone has
I would
concerns,
be
they can
fine.
pull it off.
Yeah.
I was being facetious, but all right.
Well, it seems the presentation from staff is in line with what we'd requested,
Yep.
so it seems
Yeah.
appropriate in this case.
That's
Not trying to sneak one by.
Okay. When we get to council agenda, let's put this one on consent. And if somebody wants to pull it down, they can pull it down. All right, with that, we'll go back up to the agenda. And review draft city council agenda for 28th. We'll start with an executive session. Is that looking to be a long one at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, actually, we need to add a closed session along with an executive session. So closed session for labor negotiations discussion,
During the 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but help me out because I want to add something to the agenda. I've been getting questions from council of appropriate subjects for executive session. So can we just review the rules for executive session? Somewhere where you want it in the agenda? Can we do that right at the top at 6 o'clock? But if we think 6 o'clock is too full, can we put it down somewhere in council? Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Let me.
So I think for the 6 PM, I think we have an outside attorney who's planning on being there at 6 PM regarding the union closed session. So if it's possible, just to keep we're trying to be.
Yeah, they're on the clock. Let's
Yeah,
keep
they bill for
them.
every minute.
We'll put it in let's put it in the council. All right.
Just wanted to add, don't we have a training coming up?
We do have a training on September 15th. That is more for open session commission.
Okay.
I don't know if we would want to wait till September 15th on an executive session training, so I could have that. We could I could probably do a short one on Monday
Yeah,
and then
just-
have that outside attorney include a refresher on in that training as well.
Yeah, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at least the planning commission can have executive sessions.
I can.
No, I don't think so.
I'd have to look into that. I'm not.
Okay. Double check, because
double
if it's not, if they can, then and it's only us, then yeah, sure, then just us and don't waste their time. But anyway. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, with that, we'll have executive session. We'll add in another session for labor negotiations. And they're at 6 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock, we'll do roll call, pledge, approval of the agenda. We'll have we'll have presentations, we'll have Parts and Events Commission update. And then public comments, approve city council, and then we'll get consent agenda, approve city council meeting minutes dated July 14th, approve of claims report for July 28th. And you include, put the flag policy in there as number 5. No ordinance committee reports. We'll have a public safety. We'll have a report on second quarter accreditation report from the fire department.
That's typically information only though.
Right, so that's lecture instead of quiz. He's still gonna talk to us, right? Or is that just,
Typically, if it's information only, I think it's just, is he?
But he
Planning
didn't,
to
he didn't
present?
get to it.
We didn't do it
last
this
month.
last meeting,
So
so
we can change it to discussion, or we can keep it informational only.
well, I wanna ball, information only means it's just distribution only.
Fair. right.
It's no discussion. Okay,
So if you want an
Should he-
actual report.
no, that's all right. I'm happy with,
But do you want him
No.
to, I think, was he moving it to public safety for the next meeting? No?
No?
Okay,
I don't think so.
so information,
I also view information only as he just gets up there and we listen. But if in
Okay.
this context, information only is distribution only, I'm happy with that too.
Okay.
All right, community development, currently has no agenda items. Parks and Public Works has no agenda items. Finance administration, we just moved the flag policy up above. So other than that, no agenda items, committee of the whole, mayor's reports, commission liaison reports, we'll have an executive session. And do you also want to note collective bargaining down here, just in case?
I don't think so,
I don't think so.
because of that outside council won't come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and that's the agenda. Are there any things I missed or things that ought to be added?
So where did
Oh,
you-
and where do you want to have discussion of executive session? Sorry, I'm doing hand motions now.
Well, it would probably be,
Committee of the whole?
yeah, that would work. It's not something that ironically, this is very meta. I think just a general overview of executive session, how it works, ironically, is not appropriate for executive session. We would have it as like a
Yeah.
presentation to the whole council. So that could
Right.
be under committee of the whole as a presentation discussion. And I'd ask if you know of any council members that have questions, they can email me ahead of time so I can have an opportunity to research it in case there are questions
Okay.
out there. That would help me out.
I'll do some pinging and say, hey, send your questions. I'm not expecting you'll get any, but I will at least ping them and say, send your questions. All right. All right, with that, any objections to the agenda as we just discussed?
No.
All right, we'll take the agenda as discussed, and move it to next Monday. Are there other items to come before the committee? Are there any objections to adjourning and going home? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, one and all.